Hey, Viking fans, we got a TikTok star that dissed one of her own. We're going to talk about that next in 3, 2, 1. Gather around, Skull brothers and sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Jamie, tell them where they can find you.
Hey, we're here on YouTube as well at GG Sports Podcast, Twitters. We're also on Bleacher Report now, so go check us out there. Pretty much doing post games, all that good stuff. Go subscribe to us as well. So let's get into this. So this guy had some interesting stuff to say about the guy who really doesn't talk much on this team. So it's surprising for anybody on this team. I'm kind of surprised that Danielle Hunter kind of gets attacked by anybody. But
Rico knows is his name. Rico knows, Knows. He knows everything, right? Does a lot of research, puts out these elaborate TikToks. One of his latest ones was outing a baseball coach who a player did a recording of him and dissed him. He's pretty famous of giving one-sided arguments on whose side he's on. You can't disagree with him. Basically, he might see this and put me on blast. I don't know. We'll see. But he picked Danielle Hunter of all people to do a diss video on. Danielle Hunter, who doesn't tweet about anything, doesn't leak anything, keeps everything in house, says he wants to be a Viking for life.
Yes.
And you're gonna watch this man crap all over Danielle Hunter's legacy, which just shows what kind of guy he is. This is almost embarrassing to watch. And my nickname was Purple Hulk, and this is why. All right, I got Purple Hulk when I saw this. One more time, Purple Hulk. No. All right, Purple Hulk. I turned Purple Hulk on this one. This is how bad it was. We're gonna piece through this and we're gonna talk about it. Let's get started. It's Rico knows.
Hunter. I call him Dan. So the guy in the picture here with the roided out arms, that's Danielle Hunter. I call him Danielle.
So roided out arms. This guy is a physical freak of a human being. Nobody has ever claimed ever that this guy was on roids, but he has to add that to it. And what does he call him? Jamie, what did he call him?
Danielle.
He called him a woman's name.
Yeah.
A woman. My rule of thumb is don't say anything unless I could say it to someone's face. And I would love for this guy to call him Danielle in person. You know what Danielle Hunter would probably do? Push him aside, keep walking, ignore him because he's a fly to this guy.
Yeah.
Danielle Hunter's the fly swatter. He's the fly, and he would choose not to splat him because he's such a good guy. He's such a good person. 100%. This guy's nothing to him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like you already said, substance abuse thing, there's zero any sort of substance abuse ever for Hunter, even though that guy looks insane. He's looked like this since college. As far as his name goes, I don't know. You are at the end of the day, like you said, you're attacking a guy that, man, I mean, he seems like the friendly giant, like not trying to create any sort of drama whatsoever. I've never even heard
no history of anything.
Not even like you barely hear him talk. I've never heard a single bad thing come out of his mouth. I mean, to the point where you could argue that maybe he should step up and be more vocal like that to some extent, let alone, this guy kind of acting like this. He's being like this extremely selfish player that we'll see as we go through this TikTok video. But
yeah, I mean, the whole idea of crapping on Danielle Hunter, a third round guy, didn't have a whole lot of production in college, overachieved in the NFL, came out of nowhere. And you're going to hear him talk about his production. He gives him a compliment, but this is the fastest to 50 sacks in NFL history. That's the type of player we're talking about. You wouldn't hear him brag about it one bit. You don't do interviews. They call him a leader by example. He's just like you said, the quiet giant. Let's continue with this crap fest.
And if you don't know his deal, back in 2018 and 2019, Danielle had 14 and a half sacks in back-to-back seasons. One of the most dynamic pass rushers in the NFL, and he wanted to get paid like it. So he did a restructuring and an extension, 5 years, $70 million.
Let's do the math there. Under $15 million a year.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
What's his name from the Browns?
Garrett? Myles Garrett?
Myles Garrett makes an average of $25 million a year. At $15 million a year, you're talking outside of the 10 or what? I think Carl Lawson with the Jets is the 12th highest paid at $15 million a year. And Danielle Hunter should easily be a top 5 defensive end paid.
And a tackle makes over 33 million for the Rams. And
Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald. Yeah. Nick Bosa is trying to break the bank to be the highest,
and he will be.
Yeah, 36 million.
Something.
Here
crazy.
He's talking about 15 million.
Under
15 million for a guy who set the NFL record for the fastest of 50 sacks.
And he just talked about him having back-to-back 14 and a half sack seasons.
And elite pass rusher.
Yeah, an elite pass rusher. And he's making 15 million.
15 million.
Yeah,
like
which is nothing for his position.
Yeah, which is like not even top 15 probably. Not even top 20.
Right,
maybe.
Not even close.
Here we go. Let's continue on with the crap fest.
Man is paid. But now he refuses to take part in the off-season workouts, organized team activities or OTAs, any of the mandatory camps. He's not showing up. He doesn't want to play on his $4.5 million.
So he didn't show up for the non-mandatory ones. Neither did Justin Jefferson. Did he do this video on him? But he lied here. He actually showed up to the mandatory mini camps, was not fined $1 single dollar. In the NFL, it's mandatory that they get fined and the team can't pay it off. So he showed up because he was in negotiation with the team on the last year of his contract. And the last year of his contract. Who wants to play on a final year of their contract? You're in extension talks.
Right. And a lot of players in his position don't show up at all. So he still showed up and he didn't practice. I don't blame him. If you're trying to get negotiations, the last thing you want to do is get hurt in training camp, but at least you showed up and you were there to get this figured out and we'll get into this later, I guess, is that, he, in our opinions, he definitely took a team-friendly deal
again,
Viking twice up until this. And this is the third
team-friendly deal he's taken.
Friendly deal. And this guy is talking about how selfish this dude is and how much money he's already made. And now that Danielle Hunter is not showing up to camp.
Which he did.
And
it was they were in negotiations. This is him not knowing any of the story.
Yeah.
Seeing a headline that someone's holding out. He goes and looks at his contract and just posts a video
without understanding all the
of the context.
The Rick Spielman-ness of dealing
Rick
with
Spielman. We had a new coach. We got a new GM. He's in the last year of his contract. Ed Donatel. Oh my God.
Ed Donatel.
Let's go on with this Rico knows disaster.
$1 million salary. Getting paid about 4 times what running backs are getting paid.
What does it matter what running backs get paid? It only matters to him what edge rushers get paid.
Yeah.
He even changed positions for the team.
Right.
He's a defensive end. He's playing outside
still
linebacker
had 10 and
now.
a half sacks.
Still got 10 and a half sacks.
But he refuses to play on that salary because he's worth more.
Refused to play,
and he was worth more.
Refused to play,
and he was 100% worth more. And one thing that you have to mention is when he made that team-friendly deal with us last season, it was definitely acknowledged that he would go into this off season and they were going to figure out a new contract. Like that was it. This was something that was discussed prior to him taking a team-friendly deal the year before. So.
Exactly. This guy knows nothing about it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Calls him a woman, and he's a terrible teammate, and he doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. There we go. More of the crap fest.
Let's go.
But Danielle signed a 5-year, $72 million contract extension.
Less than 50.
So why is he complaining about the money? This is what he wanted. $15 million signing bonus, $40 million guaranteed. The man is paid. But here's what it is, guys.
Well, look at this. 1 million, 9 million, 3 million, 7 million, 1 million, and 4 million. He wants to impress us with those numbers as his base salary.
When he got his money, he pushed for that final year to only be 4 million, essentially 5 million.
Bro,
So
did
you
he push that?
deal.
But
Yeah,
did he push that, or was this some maneuvering to push money around with the salary using or against the salary cap situation?
Yeah.
Which a lot of it is like you're just trying to come up with strategies to push money and as bonuses and all that kind of crazy stuff GMs do to push money around.
And he did us a solid by taking such a low contract.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever put himself in the top 5 when he was the top 5 edge rusher in the league.
After when he got that contract, he wasn't even. I don't think we paid him as a top 5 at that time. It was definitely a team friendly deal from the get go.
He did us a favor.
Yeah,
oh my God.
This he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Here we go.
To make sure you got the majority of your money up front, shout out to you. But the minute you get to the back end of your contract, you refuse to play.
So back end of his contract, refused to play, didn't refuse to play. And it was the last end of his contract. And at the end of my end of any contract, don't you feel like you need to negotiate your next one? He's literally waited. He literally waited till the last year of his contract. He's already been underpaid every year, gets to the end of his contract, up into camp. They're negotiating. He waited till this last moment to not do it. He's never complained, and he negotiated the contract to get an extension, and he didn't even get an extension.
Yeah.
He just got a 1 year, raise, which he deserves.
Yeah, not to mention, like we're dealing. He allowed us to deal with Zadarius Smith and Delvin Cook and those guys before anyone even mentioned Danielle Hunter. And he
waited his turn.
Yeah, he waited his turn, and he only didn't show to minicamp, which is not mandatory, like we've already said.
Justin Jefferson didn't.
Yeah, Justin, and no one blinked the eye. I definitely didn't. And then he doesn't show up then he does show up to mandatory right away when this guy said he didn't show up to mandatory, and hasn't missed any play. He missed a couple practices. It was like a week into training camp when Danielle Hunter signed his contract, a week or two into training camp, and then he was there practicing right away. And like what you said, he wants to be a Viking for life. This is the complete opposite of what this guy is saying about Danielle Hunter. Which is crazy. It's just like the thing that makes me mad about this is not so much like I get it. I get someone finding someone like Danielle Hunter and want to go trash someone like that. But you're talking about a guy that's such a team player and such a good pro. And there's so many good things about Danielle Hunter that everybody should like. And you're pushing the wrong narrative of such a good dude. That's the part that pisses me off about this.
There you go.
Did the team refuse to pay you back in 2021 when you only got 6 sacks? That would be like...
He was leading the league in sacks at the time, and he got hurt.
Yeah.
He got hurt. And he's talking about, and how many teams have not paid a guy, have cut a guy, even though they signed a 5-year contract or a 6-year contract, and they cut him in year 4. There was talk of the Vikings cutting him to save money. I mean... He has every right to negotiate that way.
Yeah.
And he waited till the last year of his contract when he could have been doing it for the past 5 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And he waited till now.
Especially Quezzy's first year's GM comes in and he makes a team friendly deal with him and pushes it a year. I mean, how nuts.
And no loyalty to him, right? Quezzy has no loyalty to him. He didn't draft him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, this guy wants to be a Viking. It's obvious he wants to be a Viking for the rest of his career, and that's how he's acted. So it's for someone to say he's acting the opposite. It's just wild.
Oh my God.
It's just wild.
The running back going from rushing for 1,500 yards to 700. Shout out to Zeke Elliott. These are the worst type of teammates.
Worst type of teammate.
He's literally the best type of teammate.
Effing kidding me?
He's the best. I mean, outside of him, I'd probably say Harrison Smith as far as the best.
Right, those two dudes
possibly have.
No, Kirk Cousins says the same stuff, but
those
Kirk
Cousins is a good teammate.
Those 3 dudes, right? They're like, I mean, heck, there's probably others too, but you just like they don't cause any trouble.
Only seems like they're a good teammate.
They want to be Vikings for life. Oh man, here we go.
You sign a deal, you get your millions upon millions of dollars, to this point about $67 million, and now you don't want to come to practice. You don't care what they fine you. You can afford it, and you're not going to play on that $4.5 million. Rico, stop pocket watching. Nah, this is the reason running backs aren't getting paid.
This is the reason running backs are getting paid of a guy taking team-friendly contracts his whole life. Danielle Hunter is the reason these running backs are getting paid.
Yeah, and he doesn't care if he doesn't get fined, he doesn't care if he does get fined, even though he showed up and never got fined. It's mandatory to get fined. He hasn't got a single fine. I don't know if he has a fine in his entire career, let alone this offseason and not showing up to mini camps.
Oh my God. Here we go.
Selfish mother like this.
Selfish MF. He calls him a selfish MF. Oh my God.
Dude, Danielle Hunter's such a good dude. And how are you going to trash a guy like this?
And calls him a woman.
Yeah.
By a woman's name. I want these two guys in a room together.
Danielle Hunter, you're on a contract. Get back to practice. And before all you guys in the comments start going, hey man, I don't blame him. He's got to get the most out of it, man. He could get injured. His career could be over tomorrow. These players got to get paid. All this shit, you got it backwards. This is not a guy who didn't get paid enough. This is a guy who got his money up front and isn't willing to do the work when he signed a contract for less money in later years. There are players out there and their money increases every single year. He got the inverse. He got all the money up front. Shout out to Jamarcus Russell. And now refuses to play? They gave you $15 million up front, bruh. Add that $15 million to your 4.9. That's the $20 million. Just pretend you're getting $20 million this year. Shit makes me sick. Hunter.
This guy's, oh my God. He's
just wrong. He's just completely wrong about Danielle Hunter through and through. He obviously doesn't understand all the team-friendly deals. It's just, that's what's crazy. Danielle Hunter is just like the perfect example of a team-friendly type of guy without a question about he's been patient over and over again about getting paid what he's worth. And we're lucky as Viking fans, extremely lucky to have Danielle Hunter. So, I mean, hey, whatever that guy thinks, that's his own problem.
And shout out to Rico knows. He is a veteran. He lets you know it. Good job serving our country. But you're doing a disservice to the NFL fandom by calling a grown man not by his name, showing him the disrespect that you did by calling him Danielle. Absolute trash move. I'm sorry. This is the only diss video I've ever done in my entire life, and it's to you, Rico. I was a avid follower of yours on TikTok, and I watch you on YouTube. Sometimes I don't know those players you're dissing. I don't know anything about them, but I know Danielle Hunter from watching him every year of his career, every game of his career, every article, every interview. This man is a class act, and he didn't deserve a smidgen of crap that you gave him.
Yeah, no, not even the littlest bit of everything that guy said. It was completely off, and whatever, man. We know what who Danielle. I said.
Congrats, Rico, on all the clicks you get for doing videos like that. Congratulations.
Trashing a nice guy like that.
Yeah, absolute. Just one of the good guys. Just one of the good guys in the league. Like the good guy in the league.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
100%.
Hey, that's it for today's show. Shout out to Rico Knows on YouTube. He's Rico Knows on YouTube. Rico Knows on TikTok. Go follow him. All right, Skull Vikings. Cue the music.
Skull Vikes.